Well, good morning, everybody. RV living with the geezer. And my new accomplice here, I guess can you see her? Yeah, like they're going to answer you, geezer. I think you can see old Luna she's taking over my couch. So, yeah, got her late. She wants me to scratch her belly. She's doing real good after her surgery. And so, uh, yeah, she's didn't have much going on yesterday. She was pretty lethargic, but I've had her out already this morning. She was looking like she was feeling a whole lot better today. So, but what I want to talk about is yesterday was October the 29th, and that was my dad's birthday. And my dad was born in 1900. He had me when he was 50. My mom was like 41. They'd only been married like a year. And they got married out in Lordsburg, New Mexico. But just want to talk about my dad a little bit. He was born in 1900 in Tularosa, New Mexico, which you've heard old Rusty talk about. There, it's close to Alamogordo. And he had an older sister. I called her Nana, but Delia. And their dad ran off. I don't know what happened. When my dad was 3, his father deserted the family uh, uh, and left his mother with a 5-year-old and 3-year-old back in 1903, I guess. I don't know when he took off, but his mom heard that there was a copper boom in Bisbee, Arizona, which was 200 miles from Tularosa. So somehow, I don't know how they got over there, maybe on a train. She went over there and opened a boarding house. And that's where my dad grew up in Douglas, Arizona, which is right on the Mexican border. And that was back in the days. Pancho Villa's raids were 1914, all in there up to, he raided Columbus, New Mexico in 1916. But anyway, my dad witnessed some of the battles from the roof of his mom's boarding house right across the border. There was nothing on the border there, nothing at all, not even a barbed wire fence. And one day he witnessed this. That was Agua Prieta, Mexico, and he witnessed this battle. And one of the federales got killed. And my dad, after the battle cleared, everybody left. He ran over there. He saw that the guy had a carbine, a 30 caliber carbine. He ran over there and got it. And I still have it. I'll do a video on that gun sometime soon. But that's a whole nother video. But I just want to talk about my dad a little bit. I lost him when I was 17. He died of cancer, and nothing they could do for the people back then. That was in 1967. But growing up, he was just a very very kind man. He worked for my uncle. He was a smart man. He was a plumbing contractor, salesman. I don't know what all he did through his life. He grew up a very hard life. After he graduated high school in Douglas, he went straight up to Oregon and became a logger. And he wasn't a big man. He was only 5'8", but he was really strong. I can remember my cousins when they were teenagers, and my dad was like in his mid-60s. He would tell them to try to choke him, and these guys were like 17, 18 years old, and they all called him Uncle Brother. That was his nickname. And And for some, I don't know how that got started, but they would be trying to choke him, and he'd just be sitting there laughing at them, you know. And these are big old boys, but he was a tough guy, and he went to all my ball games. I played baseball all the way from the time I could walk up through a little bit past high school, and he went to all. Well, he went to them up till I was 17, my junior year when he passed away. But he hardly ever missed one of my ball games. I guess I got that from him. You know how I never missed my son's ball games. But yeah, growing up, I don't want to make this too long, but growing up, one of my best memories, I just remember my uncle on my mother's brother was a car salesman. He was a retired policeman in San Antonio, and he went selling cars, and my dad bought a used 59 Ford pickup from him, and it seemed like every Saturday I was I'd go out with him on Saturdays. He had one of the first. It wasn't a chainsaw. It was called a Wright's power saw, and it had a blade on it about. Can you see that? About that long, I guess, 3 foot long, and it just It was a reciprocating saw, but it had these big old teeth on that blade, and he would sharpen it up, and we would go out just about every Saturday and cut wood with that, and he'd cut it, of course, and I would load it in the truck, and then when we got back, we'd both unload it. But he always, on Saturdays, he was a very good cook. He was a bachelor for most of his life, but he outcooked my mother big time. And he would have a pot of beans going, and that was back in the days when there wasn't any crock pots or anything like that. You know, he had a pot of beans on the stove, and he would have a pot of beans on Saturday, and he'd make cornbread, and he could make one heck of a pineapple upside down cake. I remember those. And I'd look forward to coming home and eating beans and, whatever else we had with it. But he did really well for himself when he went to work for my uncle, teaching that philosophy that my uncle had out there on positive thinking. And I mean, he just picked that up, like that. And we weren't rich by any means, but we weren't poor either. We were pretty, uh, I never missed out on much that I needed, and, then after, on Saturdays, I think it was 9 o'clock, All-Star Wrestling would come on from San Antonio, and him and I would always watch. Once we got a TV, we didn't always have a TV. Once we got a TV, black and white TV, we'd watch All-Star Wrestling, and then after that was roller derby, and so I got to stay up late on Saturdays. But I just remember my Saturdays with him, and I just wish I would have talked to him more and gotten his history more. There might have been a lot of it that he didn't really want to talk about, because like I say, he grew up sort of a hard life for his earlier years, and I guess that's about it. I just thought about him yesterday, and I meant to do a video on the 29th, but time got away from me, and I just want to wish him a happy heavenly birthday, and I know him and my mom were married, let's see, just 18 years, I guess. But anyway, and then she passed away in 1981. So she lived quite a few more years after he passed away. He was 9 years older than she was. But yeah, they had me late in life. I mean, 50 and 41, and I was the only child. So, all right, guys, that's enough. I just wanted to fill you in on him, and I'll show you that carbine. I'll do a video on it. I've carried it with me my whole life, you know, since I inherited it. Wherever I moved, I've had it. I've shot it years ago. I haven't shot it for years, but you'll see all that in that video. But anyway, the old couch hog potato here. We're gonna go over to Bridgeport, and I got her a cone yesterday because she can't lick that wound. They glue the incisions shut now. So, guys, stay blessed, stay positive, keep your health, and happy Halloween. Hope you get treats and not tricks. Bye-bye.